At Lang Tiao sect, the main character Fong Lang Tiao closed his eyes and recounted, I've been in the cultivating immortals world for almost 100 years now. 60 years of enlightenment. He exhaled deeply, then opened his cunning eyes to look straight ahead. After hundreds of years of cultivation, I have achieved great ascension and become the #1 genius of the cultivating immortals world. Today, my cultivation is complete. Fong Lang Tiao clenched his fists and vanished in an instant, later reappearing in front of the cheering crowd. Disciple Lang Tiao has come out of seclusion. Fong Lang Tiao descended majestically, exuding a powerful aura around him. And today, I will overcome the thunder tribulation and ascend to the immortal realm. The disciples in the sect excitedly said, Junior brother Lang Tiao is indeed a role model for all of us to follow. So handsome. Behind him, someone called out, Lang Tiao. Fong Lang Tiao glanced back and turned around. Master, Xian Uncle. Yi Xian Chen, Deputy Sect Master of Lang Tiao Sect, early stage of Great Ascension. Another was Fong Qin Yun, Sect Master of Lang Tiao Sect, mid-stage of Great Ascension. Fong Lang Tiao said, Didn't I say there was no need to see me off? Fong Qin Yun stepped forward to remind him, Disciple, this thunder tribulation should not be taken lightly. You must be extremely careful. He raised his finger to count. As the previous sect master said, this thunder tribulation lives up to its name, you will face 99 rounds of it before you can undergo purification. If you can't withstand it by then, Fong Lang Tiao, despite being warned, still took it lightly. He closed his eyes casually and responded, all right, master, you can rest easy. It's just 99 rounds of thunder tribulation, I won't even give it a second thought. Yi Xian Chen, seeing his attitude, grew even more worried and became stern. Kid, don't be so arrogant. You still need to be more cautious. Fong Lang Tiao replied dismissively, all right, I know. I'll fly up high now and won't talk to Sect Master or Uncle Xian anymore. You both can rest easy. Yi Xian Chen pointed and shouted loudly, you little brat. Fong Lang Tiao smirked confidently, within 3 years, I will definitely break into the immortal realm. 100,000 years later, another thunder tribulation struck the earth, causing those below to explode with its might. Fong Lang Tiao angrily pointed at the sky, cursing, damn it, I curse your heavenly thunder, it's not like others. 99 thunder tribulations usually only last for 3 years, yet your damn family has been tormenting me for 100,000 years straight. As soon as he finished speaking, a violent heavenly thunder struck him directly, causing the ground to crack and smoke and flames to rise chaotically. Fong Lang Tiao's people were also burned and smoking, and he paused to sigh a little. Although it is said that the stronger the thunder tribulation, the higher the cultivation after one ascends, this damn thunder tribulation has been slashing at me for 100,000 years, truly extraordinary. He clenched his fists in anger, this heavenly thunder can even destroy my cultivation. Right now, my cultivation has nearly regressed to the level of a mortal, but my body has already been tempered, becoming much stronger, like. He opened his eyes wide and said, to prepare the vessel for someone. He lowered his head and pondered, it seems someone is targeting me, even wanting to take over my body. He frowned and looked up, making a decisive statement, if that's the case, then I will ruin your plan. He sat down on the ground leisurely and said, with my temperament, I'm afraid you've picked the wrong person. He clenched his teeth and shouted, come here. Heavenly thunder struck down again, hitting Fong Lang Tiao directly. He endured it to the point of spitting blood, and as he concentrated the strength of heavenly thunder, he inadvertently discovered, absorbing heavenly thunder, yet not dying from a violent body explosion. He continued to refine the heavenly thunder to absorb it. Thank you, heavenly thunder, for tempering this body for 100,000 years, the thunder tribulation can actually be refined by me. In just a moment, the heavenly thunder that had struck for 100,000 years suddenly ceased, and the dark clouds dispersed, restoring the long-lost light. Fong Lang Tiao's expression turned serious as he realized he had guessed correctly, indeed, it's just as I thought. He discovered that he could refine the thunder tribulation, yet it directly stopped the thunder tribulation. This person's methods are not simple at all. His eyes radiated spiritual energy, and he couldn't help but think, if I don't eliminate you soon, then my Tao heart will be unsettled in the future. He hurriedly gathered his strength, wanting to fly up. First, I need to return to the sect to let them know I'm still alive. He hesitated and then crashed face first into the ground. He sat up, gagging a few times. Fong Langtiao touched his head, suddenly recalling and cursing, "Damn it, this entire area is filled with thunder tribulation, and now I can't use even a bit of my cultivation." He sat down to regulate his breathing. Well, it seems this is the only way. After a while, he opened his eyes, joyfully thinking, I did it. I really can harness the power of heavenly thunder for foundation establishment. He looked at the heavenly thunder in his hands and calculated, however, this domineering heavenly thunder still needs to be refined gradually, otherwise, if the heavenly thunder swallows me, I could die from a violent backlash, which would bring more harm than good. He raised his hand to his forehead, gazing into the distance, continuing, it's better to use the cultivation that has been refined more carefully. He frowned, there's no other way, I'll walk back then. A month later, in Chengling City, several sword chis were flashing back and forth in the sky. A girl dressed like a general was continuously launching lethal blows at the opponent. Below, Fong Langtiao was eating pastries while watching the match. After observing for a while, he sighed, the world isn't quite peaceful now, is it? He looked down and smiled brightly at the person across from him, expressing gratitude, but I still have to thank you for inviting me to eat. I haven't talked to anyone in a long time. The girl with green hair smiled gently and replied, no need to be polite. Even though I'm this grown up, it's still the first time I've met someone from outside. Fong Langtiao tossed her a jade pendant, cheerfully considering it an exchange. Hey girl, I think we have a good connection. I can agree to help you with one thing as a way to repay you for inviting me to eat. The girl looked at the pendant and asked, what is this? Fong Langtiao pointed at her and explained how to use it, if there's anything, just break it, and I'll definitely come to help you. The girl giggled a few times, then took the pendant, I don't need you to help, but your pendant is beautiful, so I'll keep it. Fong Langtiao tilted his head slightly, doubtful, this girl doesn't seem to trust me. Well, it's better to have one less issue than to add another. The girl with green hair looked up and reminded him, all right, you should run quickly. That person in the sky is very powerful, today Chengling City might be destroyed. Fong Langtiao raised an eyebrow in disbelief and asked, him? Is he really considered very strong? The girl smiled and pointed out, people like you are indeed very interesting. Although you seem a bit unusual, you are still just a mortal, so don't be too arrogant. Fong Langtiao replied casually, if City Lord Lan Yunao of Chengling City intervenes, it will be a trivial matter. You can rest assured. He thought to himself, so this girl thinks she is a mortal. It seems she hasn't mastered the heavenly spirit flower field yet. The girl lowered her head and said, he transformed over 30 years ago. Fong Langtiao was so shocked he dropped the pastry, asking, what? The girl suddenly gathered her strength and flew away, shouting, you should really leave quickly, the city lord now is not even a tenth of Lan Yunao's power. Fong Langtiao stared at her, motionless, still unable to believe it. Even someone like Lan Yunao has already transformed at that realm. He bowed his head, feeling saddened, it's been 10 years, and both people and things have truly changed. At this moment, one of the two combatants had been knocked to the ground. The soldier girl lay on the ground, coughing a few times. The red-haired man descended and ordered, bring out the inner den of your previous city lord, Lan Yunao, and I will consider sparing Chengling City. The soldier girl firmly replied, don't even dream about it. The red-haired man praised her resilience as he controlled the firepower, saying, you're quite tough. The girl struggled to stand up and wanted to make some noise, but the blue-haired girl from earlier flew down and called out, Aling, let me take your place. Aling looked at her and said, City Lord, I'm a bit worried. But your body. The city lord sternly replied, this is an order, you must evacuate the people in the city. Left with no choice but to obey the command, Aling responded, understood. The red-haired man was quite surprised to learn she was the city lord, and he disdainfully remarked, so you are the city lord of Chengling City now. You're still much weaker compared to Lan Yunao, looking really frail and pitiful. Aling gathered her energy and flew away. The city lord raised his chin and coldly looked at him, saying, it's useless to talk much. She raised her hand to channel spiritual energy and said, "Because this is my mission." She condensed her power and then charged forward, launching a powerful strike. The red-haired man also exerted his strength, laughing joyfully, "This is more like it." Taking advantage of his distraction from one move, the city lord maneuvered to the side and circled behind him, using all her strength to unleash a fierce attack like sharp thorns emerging from the ground. She landed, causing the ground to shatter instantly. In her hand was the forming power of sword chi with immense strength. The red-haired man, who had just deflected the previous strike, suddenly stopped. Seeing the imposing sword aura descending with great force, he raised his hand, excitedly asking, "Is this the heavenly spirit flower field? Truly interesting." He said this and then launched a strike even more terrifying, shattering the heavenly spirit flower field. The city lord, engulfed, also spat out blood and fell backward. The red-haired man scoffed disdainfully, "A legendary sword of the heavenly spirit flower field that drains life, is this all it's got?" A Ling urgently called out to Fong Langtiao, who looked confused, "This place is very dangerous, you should run away with me now." Fong Langtiao raised his hand and looked up, exclaiming, "Wow, this skill is quite impressive." A Ling looked up at him in confusion, seeing the power swirling like a vortex and doubting, could it be the city lord? Fong Langtiao pointed and asked her, "Who is the man you are in conflict with?" A Ling was surprised and asked, "You don't know who he is?" She explained, "He is Fong Langtiao of the Langtiao sect, a notorious figure known for collecting the inner dan of strong beings that have transformed, possessing immensely powerful abilities. Many sects have been defeated by him. He has brought numerous disasters to the Langtiao sect but only knows himself. Truly a heartless person." Fong Langtiao was bewildered. A Ling gently closed her eyes and urged him, "You should leave Qingling City quickly, it is no longer safe here." Fong Langtiao swiftly flew ahead. When she opened her eyes, she looked around in confusion and asked, Where did he go?" On this side, Langtiao was still forcing the city lord to hand over the inner dan. "Quickly hand over the inner dan of Lan Yun Ao, and I might spare your life." The city lord bowed his head for a moment, then looked up resolutely and said, "Wishful thinking." Langtiao unleashed a cold sword aura in intimidation, "Don't be so quick to reply. This short sword in my hand, once it pierces your body, will shatter into countless shards of sword light, then explode inside you. At that moment, you will be worse than dead." The city lord clenched her teeth, bowed her head and thought, "Am I really going to end here?" She suddenly remembered Fong Langtiao's words, "If anything happens, just crush it, I will definitely come to help." She looked at the jade in her hand with a sad expression, "Why am I thinking about him? He is just a mortal." Langtiao narrowed his eyes in perception, "Why does this woman have such strange spiritual energy?" He raised a finger to control the sword and said, "Forget it, I'll find my way into the city after I kill her." As soon as he finished speaking, he was struck in the face by a mighty blow that made him spit blood and fly back, followed by an explosion. The city lord knelt on the ground, gazing at him in confusion. Behind, Fong Langtiao sighed and asked, "Why does Lan Yun Ao's veins have to suffer such injustice?" The city lord was startled and turned to look behind. Fong Langtiao also looked at her and said, "I originally thought you would crush the jade pendant, and then I would save your life. It would also repay the kindness of Lan Yun Ao from years ago." He smiled and said, "Then I could conveniently repay you for inviting me to eat." He stepped forward, his gaze fixed sharply on Langtiao as he said in a deep voice, "But right now, I have a personal grudge with a guy who claims to be Fong Langtiao here." Langtiao wiped the blood from his face, and bluntly looked at him, "Another person here seeking death. You humans truly have a death wish." The city lord exclaimed in astonishment, "What ears? You are from the demon clan. Didn't the demon clan disappear tens of thousands of years ago?" Fong Langtiao coldly questioned him, "As a member of the demon clan, why do you dare to impersonate Langtiao and steal the inner dan from others?" The man lowered his head and chuckled softly, "No longer hiding, since I have been discovered, then I won't hide anymore." He raised his face, unleashing demonic power, and continued, "I will use my true ability to play with you. He is Lang Tian, the heavenly fire demon wolf, in the spirit king realm." The city lord was restrained by a heavy pressure and could not move, realizing, what a strong pressure. It turns out he was hiding his cultivation before. Fong Langtiao began to grow angry and shouted, I don't care what you are, I ask you why you are impersonating Fong Langtiao. Lang Tian smirked indifferently, you're quite boastful, huh? But from you, I don't sense any fluctuations of spiritual energy at all. You must be a physique cultivator with a relatively high realm, right? But even a physique cultivator at the highest level can only reach the spirit infant realm. He said this and suddenly disappeared before Fong Langtiao's eyes. The city lord looked around in confusion and said, he vanished. Unexpectedly, Lang Tian appeared right in front of him, boasting, now I have reached the spirit king realm, the distance between us is as far as the stars in the sky. Fong Langtiao asked emotionlessly, so what? Lang Tian leaned his face closer, his hand conjuring the demon flame and commanding, the way a human like you talks really makes me furious. We will now give you a chance. Kneel down and bow your head quickly. If I am pleased, I will tell you. He arrogantly added another condition, or if you defeat me, then I will tell you. Of course, this possibility will be. Before he could finish the word no, Fong Langtiao unleashed an ultimate killing move, sending him crashing into a rock far behind. Even the city lord was horrified and serious. Lang Tian lay motionless. Fong Langtiao picked at his ear, and with the other hand pointed out, if you had said earlier that after defeating you, you would talk, wouldn't that be better? After a while with no response, the city lord still feared for Fong Langtiao and urged him to run. Senior, you should hurry and run. The demon clan is not something we humans can resist, he is definitely still hiding his strength. Fong Langtiao calmly replied, don't worry, I still have strength left after defeating him. Lang Tian, exuding power, spoke, congratulations, you have successfully angered me. He flew towards Fong Langtiao, striking down with fierce force. The city lord exclaimed in shock, Senior, be careful. But that blow struck down with terrifying power, piercing through the ground and blowing her away. Lang Tian's eyes emitted demon flames as he said, it's still not over. He then unleashed a powerful, unimaginable fire attack. The city lord shielded herself with her hands and said, the flame is indeed powerful, not even the aftershock can. She helplessly began to cry, saying, Father, I'm sorry, I can't fulfill your last wishes anymore. Before her, a figure appeared, reaching out. In her daze, she also reached out in response, could it be that I have died? Is it my father come to take me? She grasped that hand and called out, Father, I miss you. She closed her eyes, regardless of how events had unfolded, continuously calling, Father. Fong Langtiao, having burned his shirt, exclaimed, Girl, I underestimated you, didn't I? Your abilities are no less than your father, Lon Yunao. Truly, the student surpasses the teacher. The city lord suddenly asked, Senior, why is it you? How come you're fine? Fong Langtiao pulled her up to fly together, saying that the matter of your father could wait until later. Just when the foolish dog was being arrogant, it conveniently granted you a magical power. He forcefully threw her forward with the city lord missile technique. The city lord cried without tears, asking why it had come to this. Lang Tian paused, stopped his move, and wondered if he had disappeared or was turned to ash. What sound was that? The city lord dashed forward, constantly shouting. He stared blankly and said, Are you trying to make me laugh with this attack? It can't even break my protective barrier. No sooner had he finished speaking than the city lord hit him on the head with a bang. Blood gushed from his nose, and he fell backward onto the ground. He blinked as if just waking up and asked, Am I injured? Why is this happening? Where is my protective spiritual energy? He squinted down, unable to believe it. Was he really relying on this woman alone? The city lord, sitting on the ground, cried out that he had a terrible headache. Fong Langtiao explained to him that the celestial qi of the heavenly spirit flower field could not absorb spiritual energy, so the more one forced cultivation, the weaker the body would become. But once the spiritual energy is depleted, it will absorb the primordial spiritual energy of others for its own use at an astonishing speed, especially from the purest weapons of ancient demon beasts like you. Heavenly Fire Demon Wolf, huh? Lang Tian turned his head seriously, how do you know? Fong Langtiao stood there naked, hands on his hips, looking down at him. The city lord blushed and pointed, your pants, that pair of pants. Fong Langtiao raised his hand in response, cultivators do not fuss over trivialities. He crossed his arms and got to the main point, alright, now tell me why you want to impersonate Fong Langtiao. If you answer truthfully, I will spare your life. If you continue like this, your essence will be completely drained. Lang Tian lowered his head, so it was you, I underestimated you, but don't underestimate me either. He unleashed, heavenly fire descends, my true form. His body blazed with an intimidating fire. Fong Langtiao, standing closest, remained expressionless as he felt no heat. The city lord, however, had to shield his hands, unable to withstand the pressure he emitted. At the city gate, a Ling was hastily evacuating the people. Don't dawdle, hurry and escape, she shouted. She turned to ask, what is that? A second later, her face darkened as she saw the flames in the city consuming everything. Lang Tian transformed into a demon wolf, howling several times. But compared to the panic of the city lord, Fong Langtiao merely viewed it as a joke. Lang Tian angrily released demon flames, saying, you pests, let me relish the sight of your despair. In front of the city gate, the citizens all knelt down pleading, Wolf God Lord, please spare our lives, we beg you, Wolf God Lord, spare us. A Ling stood frozen in shock, you all. She asked furiously, you lot. Lang Tian carelessly looked down at Fong Langtiao and asked, so, how is it? You ants, this is my true form, do you feel despair yet? The city lord was sweating profusely, standing like a statue staring at him, so this is the level of demon beasts. Fong Langtiao angrily looked at him and retorted, your appearance is just a bit bigger. What are you pretending to be? He pointed at the city lord, sternly admonishing, and you too, stop being so amazed by everything. Being like this will only make it even more boastful. The city lord paused, replied hesitantly, oh yes, yes sir. Lang Tian felt an overwhelming frustration as he heard him speak. At this point, you still don't regard me as anything. It seems you truly don't know what it means to have humility. Fong Langtiao glanced at him. Lang Tian unleashed a demon flame, yelling, die. It growled, turn to ashes for me. Its voice faltered, you damned ants. The demon flame in his mouth weakened more and more. He looked ahead, crying when he saw Fong Langtiao standing before him, conjuring an incredibly large illusion of nature. The city lord was shocked, stammering, this is. The girl blushed, asking, what is this? The people all widened their eyes, asking, is this a butt? How can there be a butt like this? That is a naked man. A Ling froze, her face turning entirely red. Fong Langtiao raised his fist. Lang Tian was pinned to the ground by the pressure, unable to struggle, the pressure is really strong. A prince of heaven approached, causing him to scream in terror, quickly begging, Supreme Immortal, spare my life, I will tell everything. Fong Langtiao coughed up blood, his body also began to shrink, emitting heavenly thunder. He landed on the ground, regulating his breathing, unable to help but think, this little spiritual energy is basically not enough. The heavenly thunder in my body is starting to go wild again. He looked at the heavenly thunder in his hand and sighed, it seems that this heavenly thunder cannot be used at all until I refine it into cultivation. The city lord rushed over, anxiously asking him, Senior, are you alright? Where is that demon beast? Fong Langtiao lowered his head and murmured, will I only be able to use soul power in the future? He turned to reply to her, I am fine. It is right there. The city lord looked at Lang Tian lying on the ground, still incessantly begging the Supreme Immortal for mercy. She asked in surprise, why has it become so small? Fong Langtiao replied, this is his true form, just a young heavenly fire demon wolf. He grabbed it, assessing the situation, it's unconscious, we should take it back for treatment. The city lord blushed and stared at him, proposing, then, Senior, why don't we go to the city lord mansion and question it? It just so happens that I need to prepare another set of clothing for you. Fong Langtiao walked slowly and replied, no need to trouble yourself like that. Just give me some spirit stones first, and I can directly refine them into clothing. Hearing this, the city lord searched his waist, asking, "Spirit stones? Wait a moment, I will go find some." Fong Langtiao took the spirit stones she handed him, feeling rather helpless. The spiritual energy was weak, and they were so small. Moreover, you say one stone is one stone, but you are the city lord after all. The city lord looked at him in confusion and explained, "Senior, this medium-grade spirit stone is enough to buy an entire city. 100,000 years ago, the continuation of the heaven and earth divine bridge was severed, which caused this mainland to deplete its spiritual energy, preventing people from ascending." Fong Langtiao pondered in silence, wondering, 100,000 years ago? Could it be because of me? The city lord lowered his head and continued, "The deposits of spirit stones have been occupied by the three-sect alliance. As the city lord, I can only obtain this one medium-grade spirit stone every 3 years. Spirit stones are an incredibly rare resource. The path to immortality is solely for the sake of eternal life, while the divine bridge has collapsed." Fong Langtiao crushed spirit stones to turn them into clothing, saying, "All right, just like my master, it's just a spirit stone." He glanced over and grabbed Lang Tian, lifting him up, and whispered in his ear, "I've heard that the heavenly fire demon wolf roams the human world amassing wealth everywhere. This little brat must have a lot of spirit stones." Lang Tian was sweating profusely, silently thinking to himself, "If I don't hear it, it means I didn't hear it, I'll just pretend to faint." Seeing him not respond, Fong Langtiao squeezed his head tightly, causing Lang Tian to suddenly open his eyes in a panic. "Supreme Immortal, spare me, I do have spirit stones." The ring he wore glowed, and then a pile of spirit stones appeared, offered to Fong Langtiao. "This is all my wealth, please accept it, Supreme Immortal." The city lord's eyes widened in surprise, so many spirit stones exist. Lang Tian squinted his eyes, thinking, a great opportunity. He threw the spirit stones back and fled quickly. "This time I admit defeat, these spirit stones are an apology, I shall take my leave." He thought to himself, "I must run away quickly, or else." Fong Langtiao appeared in front of him with one hand raised, saying, "Want to run?" "Hello, puppy." Lang Tian jumped and asked, "What?" A punch came down hard on his head, causing him to drop and sink into the ground. Fong Langtiao casually looked at his own hand and said, "Why the rush? You really make me more curious." Back at the city lord mansion, Fong Langtiao leaned back in his chair and asked Lang Tian, "Who instructed your family to collect the inner Dan of the strong after they transform? Why pretend to be Fong Langtiao?" Lang Tian grimaced and introduced himself, "I am Lang Tian, I left my clan to train on my own a year ago, and then I was hunted by a woman." Rewind to a year ago, Lang Tian ran desperately through the forest, occasionally glancing back and cursing, "Damn. If I had known, I wouldn't have messed with this woman." From the dark sky, a talisman appeared, channeling power down to catch Lang Tian. He roared in anger, unleashing his demonic power, "Do you really have to force me like this? Do you really think I'm made of clay?" Heavenly fire strikes down. After a while, still no movement occurred, causing him to sweat profusely, wondering, why is there no effect like this? A girl in a black dress with purple hair descended, looking at him with a cold expression. "Little dog, you really know how to run, can't you sincerely help me with one task?" Lang Tian looked up at her and asked, "I was just teasing you a little. Why does it have to be like this?" The girl sighed in annoyance. "Men are truly unpredictable. The sweet words you just said, were you just lying to me?" She waved her hand, creating space to command, "From now on, you will be called Fong Lang Tiao and help me collect 10 inner Dan Spirit Saint Realm. I'll come to collect them in 5 years. Lang Tian, still bound, loudly refused. "Don't casually order me around, I don't agree to that." The girl glanced at him with a strange smile and said, "I forgot to tell you. I have placed a charm in your body, if you don't obey, you will definitely die." Returning to the present, Lang Tian lowered his head sadly and said, "That's how it is." The city lord asked in surprise, "Tearing apart the void, how can that be possible? Even the legendary spirit lord couldn't do that." As soon as Fong Lang Tiao heard this, he knew it was someone from the upper world. Lang Tian eagerly replied, "That's right, it must be someone from the upper world. I'm at my wit's end. A righteous person like Senior who values chivalry will surely understand this, right? Fong Langtiao lowered his eyes and asked him, a righteous person values chivalry, huh? Do you know who I am? Lang Tian said seriously, I do not know the esteemed name and noble character of Senior. He pointed to himself and began to introduce. Lang Tiao sect, Fong Lang Tiao. The city lord was taken aback, while Lang Tian was terrified. He banged his head on the ground to apologize. Senior, I was wrong. I am willing to serve you like a beast, please spare me. He gritted his teeth and finally thought of it. I said, why should I pretend to be Fong Langtiao? That damned woman is actually waiting for me here, so that Fong Langtiao can directly kill me. In the end, even the real Fong Langtiao cannot escape punishment, and I will perish without leaving a trace. Fong Langtiao stepped in front of him. Your luck is quite good. He glanced sideways at him and laid out the conditions. From now on, acknowledge me as your master and compensate for the losses you caused me. Lang Tian was taken aback, calculating. Acknowledging him as my master is also a way out, it's better than working under that crazy woman. It's just that I won't have freedom anymore. Fong Langtiao exuded an imposing aura and coldly stated, you only have two choices now, acknowledge me as your master or die. Lang Tian was startled and hurriedly replied, Lang Tian, swear on the Tao heart to acknowledge Fong Langtiao as my master, and I'll follow orders without question. Fong Langtiao resolved the matter and didn't linger. That's more like it. Lan Gu, help me activate the teleportation array, I want to return to the Langtiao sect. Lan Gu hesitated and replied, Senior, due to the depletion of spiritual energy, spirit stones are extremely precious, and the teleportation array cannot be utilized at all. Even with Lang Tian's contribution, it wouldn't be enough. Fong Langtiao stopped and asked her, so the exact direction can be found, right? Lan Gu replied, that can be done. Fong Langtiao said, then just tell me the location. He suddenly froze, his expression changing in an instant. He took a step forward and instructed, I will go out for a while. Lang Tian, you stay here obediently. Lang Tian looked at him leave, confused, why are you suddenly going out? He was suddenly weighed down by an oppressive aura and realized, wait, this aura, it's from that woman. Fong Langtiao landed on the roof, facing the girl with purple hair who was stroking her chin. Oh, you are Fong Langtiao, why won't you just die obediently under that thunder tribulation? Now that your cultivation has dropped to the level of a waste, isn't that the same as being dead? Do you really want to return to the Langtiao sect? It's pointless. Fong Langtiao asked in bewilderment, pointless? Hey, woman, what do you mean by that? She raised her finger, swirling spiritual energy to gradually form around inner Dan, explaining to him, aren't you looking for your master? Look, this is your master's inner Dan. Hurry up and obediently die in my hands. Only then can you reunite with your master, right? That old man even laughed before he died, constantly murmuring about Langtiao or something like that. Fong Langtiao widened her eyes, suddenly retreating to take the inner Dan. She froze, looking at the severed hand. Fong Langtiao landed on the ground. She turned her head in shock and said, so fast, how could this happen? Didn't his dantian get shattered by heavenly thunder? She restored her own arm. Fong Langtiao lowered her face, coldly saying, the recovery ability combined with a knack for using talismans. I know who you are now. To ascend to the upper world, you don't hesitate to exploit forbidden talismans, refining your entire sect, the immortal heavenly lord, Su Ling Long. His eyes emitted spiritual energy filled with resentment as he said, you have killed over 10,000 people in the sect, which means I will have to kill you 10,000 times. Today, I will show you what it means to be torn apart 1,000 times. The girl with purple hair angrily replied, it's just luck. You have quite the audacity, don't you? Fong Langtiao took off his outer clothing and said, but I can't tear my clothes again. He threw the clothes to the ground, waving his hand and calling, come here. Let me know how powerful the people from the upper world really are. As he finished speaking, his hands were suddenly restrained by several strands of energy. She appeared behind him unexpectedly, as if she had come from nowhere. My spell is the energy of law, and now you completely cannot move. I want to ask you some questions, and you better answer honestly, or you will die a violent death." Fong Langtiao, furious, turned around and exclaimed, "You actually dared to come down here?" Hearing this, she abruptly froze. Fong Langtiao stomped the ground and turned to kick her spell with great force. The purple-haired girl was dumbfounded as she saw her spell being ripped apart. "My spell is the power of law, how can it not work on him?" She quickly flew up high to maintain distance from Fong Langtiao. "He doesn't have spiritual energy, so he can't fly, I must keep my distance." Fong Langtiao unleashed a powerful kick and declared, "Want to run? Look at my earth wall technique." She sweated while looking back and thought, indeed, he is a foolish man. Not even a bit of actual combat experience, and he thinks he can use magic to catch me. Fong Langtiao stomped the ground and created a powerful earth wall technique. She asked with a heavy heart, "Is this the earth wall technique?" Suddenly, Fong Langtiao appeared behind her. "What are you staring at?" He tightened his fist, gathering energy, and said, "Don't even think about escaping." She was startled, quickly forming a hand seal, fearfully turning around. He's really a difficult man to deal with. She continued to use spells, exchanging blows with Fong Langtiao with no clear winner. However, her earth wall technique was shattered by a single blow from him. The impact echoed all the way to Lan Ji's residence. She stood on the altar and said, "That's quite a shock. What's going on?" Lang Tian flew up and responded, "It must be a fight outside. I'll go take a look." "You keep going." He furrowed his brow, planning, while those two are fighting, should find an opportunity to escape. "Although I have accepted him as my master, I never said I would follow him." He looked in one direction. Seeing the huge earth technique above, she was taken aback. Thinking back, she told herself, maybe I shouldn't run after all. On this side, Fong Langtiao had smashed her earth wall technique, causing several talismans to fall continuously. He did not stop but continued to break through, only pausing when the talismans above gathered and no more earth walls appeared. She felt somewhat terrified and thought, the speed is really fast, every time I release the talisman, it gets shattered. She looked down at Fong Langtiao and said, although lacking spiritual energy, the sheer power of that body is strong enough to directly crush my talisman with physical strength. Fong Langtiao, with a serious expression, assessed, not using magical talent. "It seems this is just your external incarnation, isn't it?" She did not respond, but was lost in thought. Can this body ignore law talismans? No wonder it was targeted by that person. Other than ignoring the law, there seems to be no other useful information. Fong Langtiao unleashed heavenly thunder, looked at her, and said, "If it's just a clone, then there's no need to torment any longer." He unleashed his power, hand forming a seal, continuing, "To deal with this, even if it's just a clone of someone from the upper world, I still have to show a bit of skill, right? People from the upper world are just like this anyway." She stared wide-eyed in shock. "Why is there a fly sword?" She shouted angrily, "You useless person dare to look down on me. Today I will show you." As soon as she finished speaking, she was split in half by Fong Langtiao's sword intent. Her body shone unexpectedly. Is this sword chi combined with law? My clone was instantly killed. She let out a strange laugh, realizing, so that's how it is, so that's it. You truly deserve to be her person. Her transformation dissipated while still laughing maniacally. Fong Langtiao, I'll wait for you in the upper world. Fong Langtiao coldly replied, no need for you to say it, I will look for you all anyway. He raised the inner Dan, which had vanished with her. The inner Dan is indeed fake, so you wanted to test my strength and deliberately provoked me? Once he returned to the manor, he asked, how is it? Have you found the coordinates? Lan Go looked over and replied, ah, senior, you're back. I just found these coordinates. Fong Langtiao looked at Lang Tian in surprise, aren't you going to run away, puppy? Lang Tian tilted his head and replied, why should I run? The heavenly fire demon wolf clan is the most loyal, after all. He thought to himself, I wouldn't dare to be disloyal. Lan Go handed him a piece of paper with the coordinates written on it, saying, senior, it's quite a distance. How do you plan to get there? Fong Langtiao said, I will find a way myself. Lan Go gave him the paper, stating, these are the coordinates. Fong Langqiao took the paper and glanced at it. It is quite far, huh? But at least I know the location now. Puppy, follow me. Lang Tian coughed lightly, coming right away. Lan Go saw both of them out and asked Fong Langqiao one more time, Senior, do you really not need my help to find a spirit beast vehicle? Fong Langqiao replied, no need, I have my own methods. He turned to her, instructing, I'm leaving now, you should work hard in your cultivation too. Do not be lazy. Lan Go exclaimed in surprise before replying, oh yes, Senior. Fong Langqiao grabbed Lang Tian and threw him high up, shouting, let's go. He was thrown into a panic, screaming incessantly. Fong Langqiao stomped his foot and took off into the air, landing on Lang Tian's head. I've always wanted to try this. He passionately thought, Lang Tiao sect, I'm back. After a while, they arrived at Lang Tiao sect. Fong Langqiao instructed Lang Tian, when we return to the sect, do not reveal our identities. You just need to keep quiet. Lang Tian replied dejectedly, as you command, my master. He glanced at the stone tablet inscribed with the words Lang Tiao sect that had toppled over and thought, I fear that Lang Tiao sect is only in name now, I hope they won't vent their anger on me. Fong Langqiao, understanding the situation, spoke up first, you don't need to be afraid, this is not your fault. Lang Tian sighed in relief, thank you for your magnanimity, Senior Lord. Suddenly, a voice from the sky shouted, stop. Fong Langqiao paused and looked up at the girl riding the sword, saying, you brought spirit beasts with you. You must be a member of the spirit beast sect this year. She put her hands on her hips and introduced herself, I am Yiqing Jiao, the acting sect master of the Langqiao sect. You have gone too far in bullying people, today, the Langqiao sect will absolutely not compromise. Fong Langqiao clasped his hands together and explained, Miss, you misunderstand. I, Fong Lang, am just a casual cultivator. I have heard that the Langqiao sect is a renowned sect, so I specially came to pay my respects at the mountain gate, seeking to join. Yiqing Jiao asked in surprise, you want to join the Langqiao sect? Her sword suddenly shook violently, causing her to stagger, and she said, watch your step, before we negotiate, what do you want to do right now? The sword suddenly flew towards Fong Langqiao, causing Yiqing Jiao to fall freely. Fong Langqiao jumped up, caught the sword, and flew to catch Yiqing Jiao, gently landing. Yiqing Jiao blushed and looked up at him. Fong Langqiao gently asked her, are you okay? Yiqing Jiao jumped far away from him and awkwardly cleared her throat to explain, of course, I'm fine. This is a test for you. She crossed her arms and assessed, your talent isn't bad. You are only at the spirit essence realm, yet you already have such body movement. Since this is a time when we need people, I welcome you to join the Langqiao sect. Fong Langqiao asked her confusedly, aren't I at the foundation establishment stage? What kind of realm is the spirit essence realm you just mentioned? Yiqing Jiao turned around, unable to hide her surprise, you don't even know what the spirit essence realm is? Then how did you cultivate? Fong Langqiao lightly closed his eyes and replied, there is a bit of inheritance in my family, so I managed to cultivate up to this level. Yiqing Jiao touched her chin, recalling, foundation establishment, in the skill instruction books of the sect I've read, it seems to be a type of cultivation realm from ancient times. I've heard that 100,000 years ago, because of a thunder tribulation, the divine bridge broke, causing the concentration of spiritual energy to no longer be as great as before, which led to the replacement of many divine sections. Wait, are you saying you used ancient cultivation methods to reach the spirit essence realm? Fong Langqiao laughed and responded, just a bit of luck, I don't know how today's realms are classified. Yiqing Jiao raised a finger and said, when a beginner starts cultivating, they condense the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, transforming it into their own spirit essence, the spirit essence realm. When the spirit essence stabilizes, they officially become a cultivator, and the physical body of the practitioner will greatly enhance, entering the spirit foundation realm. When the spirit essence condenses into a pill, the strength of the practitioner significantly increases, and their lifespan extends, reaching the pill's realm. When pills break apart and transform, the divine consciousness of the cultivator begins to awaken, allowing them to fly, entering the spirit infant realm. When the spirit infant matures, the practitioner's strength reaches its peak, enabling them to establish a sect and dominate a region. Only a few individuals reach the spirit king level, and I do not know about the spirit saint realm and beyond. It is said that lifespan can be nearly infinite, and with just a wave of their hand, they can destroy heaven and earth. Fong Langtiao sweated in thought. Does it really need to be that exaggerated? He lowered his eyes and pondered. So the world of cultivating immortals has now entered a period of decline, huh? Yi Qin Jiao poked him gently and asked with concern. Before I take you up the mountain, can you return the magic weapon to me? Fong Langtiao replied, sure. Before handing back the sword, he took a look at it and thought in surprise, this magic weapon is not bad. He noticed that there was a quite strong soul power within this sword. Yi Qin Jiao took the sword back and strapped it to her back, saying, that's only natural. This is a lucky find I picked up. Now I'll take you up the mountain. Lang Tian flew up and asked him quietly, do you need me to take care of that swordsman? Fong Langtiao replied, not for now. Let's observe for a while longer before we decide. He looked back at a person who was riding a flying beast approaching and called out, Miss Yi, what a coincidence, are you out for a stroll? Yi Qin Jiao turned around and called, Li Feng. He is the third young master of the spirit beast sect, Li Feng. He crossed his arms arrogantly and asked her, are you representing Grand Senior Brother Li Hao Tian today to hand over the management fee to us? Fong Langtiao looked at him and thought, management fee? Yi Qin Jiao touched the sword and replied fiercely, Senior Brother, you are being too cautious. Today, I am in charge, and we won't be paying the management fee in the future. Li Feng glanced at Fong Langtiao and called out, you probably can't take charge here. Let's not talk about this for now. Little friend beside you, I see you have a decent flame dog, why not join our spirit beast sect? Instead of staying in this broken sect, why not come to our spirit beast sect? There's a future in art here. Lang Tian raised an eyebrow and asked, flame dog? Yi Qin Jiao drew her sword, emitting spiritual energy, and shouted angrily, normally, you only interfere with my sect's recruitment of disciples. But today, you're directly robbing us like this. I'm not made of mud. Li Feng frowned and snorted, Miss, you haven't even left your mother's milk, refusing to drink invited wine but wanting to drink punishment wine instead? Lang Feng Eagle, teach him a lesson. Lang Feng Eagle was sweating, standing still and staring at him with narrowed eyes. Lang Feng Eagle, aren't you supposed to be my spirit beast protector? Why are you not listening? If you keep this up, I will tell my father. In fact, Lang Tian was exuding pressure, glancing at it with a piercing look, and spat out a single word, get lost. Lang Feng Eagle was so scared that it flew away without a moment's hesitation. Li Feng, feeling lost, asked Lang Feng Eagle, what are you doing? He fell down and was puzzled, what happened to Lang Feng Eagle today? He angrily shouted, damn it, this time I will spare you. Just wait, I will definitely come back. Yi Qin Jiao was also confused, asking, what's going on? Why did he run away? Fong Langtiao chuckled lightly, speculating, he must have been scared away by your aura. Yi Qin Jiao awkwardly smiled and asked, Is that so? She bowed her head, chuckling. Afterwards, her nose grew longer by a whole foot, feeling smug, indeed, it is just as I thought. All my hard work over the past 3 years was not in vain. Fong Langtiao helplessly said, the collapse of the sect might not be entirely your fault. Lang Tian also agreed, replying with a At this moment, another person flew over and asked her, Junior sister, why are you here? Yi Qin Jiao turned around and called out, Senior brother, have you arrived? Li Hao Tian descended with a powerful aura, confused and asking, Junior sister, where are the people from the spirit beast sect? Yi Qin Jiao responded excitedly, of course, I scared them away with my power. First, let's not talk about that. Let me introduce you, this is the new disciple I just recruited today. Li Hao Tian anxiously said, first, let's not discuss that. What exactly happened? Please tell me in detail. Yi Qin Jiao replied, alright, here's how it is. I told them that the Langtiao sect will not pay any fees in the future. At first, they wanted to attack me, but that big bird was scared off by my power and they ran away. From what I see, the people of the spirit beast sect are just a bunch of upper-class fools. With a strong senior brother like you, you should have taught them a lesson long ago, right? Li Hao Tian quickly turned around, looked around, and then used his strength to fly away. Yi Qing Jiao called out in confusion, "Senior brother, where are you going? I haven't introduced the little junior brother I just recruited yet." She raised her hand to look into the distance, complaining, "Really? Where's the hurry? I still haven't introduced the new disciple yet." She turned to Fong Langtiao and said, "Never mind, I'll take you to the sect. Follow me." On the Lang Feng eagle side, Li Feng angrily cursed, "Damn it. You useless bird, you've made me lose all my face today." He gritted his teeth and growled, "I'm so furious. Once we get back, I will definitely tell my father to send someone to kill them, and then I'll get rid of you too. What is this Beast King realm? Just a coward." Suddenly someone from behind called out, "Li Feng, Daoist friend, please stop." Li Feng turned around to see him and asked, "Li Hao Tian?" Li Hao Tian smiled gently and said, "Daoist friend, please stop. I am here to apologize on behalf of my junior sister to you." Li Feng frowned and said, "You can go back. I will report today's incident to my father so the elder can decide." Li Hao Tian stepped forward, eager to mediate, saying, "This is just a misunderstanding, there's really no need to involve the elder." Li Feng replied solemnly, "Do you want me to let it go?" "That might be possible." Li Hao Tian smiled and said, "If you have any requests, please feel free to say." Li Feng wickedly licked his lips and set a condition, "Tell that brat to self-destruct his cultivation base, and then bring all members of the Langtiao sect to personally apologize to me. By the way, let me inform you that my father has comprehended the law and soon will no longer be bound by your heavenly Tao contract." He raised his head and laughed heartily, "You can take your time to think about it." On the side of the Langtiao sect, Fong Langtiao stepped onto the platform, surprised to find, strange, there's nothing to worry about in the sect at all. He wondered, so why are there no disciples here? Yi Qing Jiao approached, shouting loudly, "Junior brother, I'm back." Li Xiaofan looked at her with a vacant expression, "Senior sister, you're back." Yi Qing Jiao raised her hand to introduce, "This person is the youngest disciple in our sect, Li Xiaofan, quite shy." Fong Langtiao stepped forward to greet, "Xiaofan senior brother." Yi Qing Jiao reintroduced to Xiaofan, "The person behind me is a newly recruited disciple, his name is Fong Lang." He looked at him, saying, "Just call me Xiaofan." Fong Langtiao smiled and asked her, "Yi senior sister, our sect seems a bit deserted, right? I wonder how many people are in our sect." Yi Qing Jiao raised a finger and replied, "With you added, there are 5, just enough to participate in this year's Immortal Realm Conference." Li Xiaofan frowned and sighed, "Senior sister, you are being too straightforward." Yi Qing Jiao said, "Although there is one person who keeps disappearing, that person occasionally returns." Fong Langtiao thought blankly, "The number of people is much fewer than I imagined." Li Xiaofan explained, "In fact, it's because other forces have recently issued bans on outsiders joining the Langtiao sect, but the treatment in our sect is not bad at all." Fong Langtiao had some doubts. If they want to destroy the Langtiao sect, why don't the other sects directly attack the Langtiao sect and instead resort to these tactics? What about the elders and masters? Are they doing nothing? Li Xiaofan lowered his eyes and hesitated, "This matter." Yi Qing Jiao also had an evasive attitude and changed the subject, "Xiaofan, take him to get familiar with the sect, I'm a bit tired, so I will rest first." Li Xiaofan replied, "Okay." Fong Langtiao looked after her and asked, "I heard that 100,000 years ago, when Fong Langtiao ascended, he caused the divine bridge to break, severing the path to immortality for everyone." Li Xiaofan recounted, 20 years ago, when the sect was besieged, the old master used his own life to sign a heavenly Tao agreement with all the major sections. The content of the agreement was that no other sect could actively attack Langtiao sect. If he wanted to preserve the legacy of Langtiao sect, the old master had to destroy his own cultivation foundation in return. As for the elders, only one was severely injured and has been in seclusion in the secret realm of the back mountain, with his life unclear. It was late, and the situation was quite complicated. I won't say more. First, I will take you to your accommodation. Fong Langtiao lowered his head, his hands clenched so tightly that they crackled like heavenly thunder. He said in a deep voice, "Puppy, do something for me." Lang Tian responded, "Please instruct me, my lord. In Yi Qing Jiao's room, she was huddled in a corner when a fragrant scent wafted in. She raised her face to look around and asked, "What is that smell?" Then she lowered her head and said, "It really smells good." When she fell asleep, Li Hao Tian entered with a focused expression and a vial of anesthetic. "Junior sister, sleep first, okay?" He shut his eyes tightly and shouted, "Where is everyone?" Meanwhile, Li Xiaofan had brought Fong Langqiao to his room. "This is your place. If you need anything else, come find me. By the way, where is your dog?" Fong Langqiao said, "Maybe it's off finding a place to relieve itself." Li Xiaofan replied, "All right." Suddenly, there was an explosion from Yi Qing Jiao's room, causing both of them to startle and look over. Yi Qing Jiao seemed to lose consciousness and attacked Li Hao Tian. Li Xiaofan asked bewilderedly, "Grand senior brother, senior sister, why are they fighting?" He lowered his gaze and said, "It feels very dangerous. I will go home first." "Ling junior brother, you should also get away." Fong Langqiao gasped in surprise at his words. He smiled faintly and sighed, "You really value your life." Over here, Yi Qing Jiao continued to swing her hands violently as if she wanted to take someone's life. Li Hao Tian had also suffered a serious injury to his chest and realized, "Early spirit infant, you are not the junior sister, who are you really?" Yi Qing Jiao coldly raised her hand, exuding dangerous power, and said, "I told this girl long ago that her senior brother was not right, but she refused to believe me." Li Hao Tian asked in astonishment, "Are you that sword?" He flew up and said, "Senior, please listen to my explanation. The Langqiao sect is no longer safe. I just want to take the junior sister away from the Langqiao sect." The spirit sword doubtfully said, "Impossible. With the Heavenly Tao Covenant, other sects basically cannot attack the Langqiao sect." Li Hao Tian replied with a heavy expression, "The ancestor of the spirit beast sect has found a way to bypass the Heavenly Tao Covenant. Although I don't know how they did it, I discovered the truth when I searched the soul of that young master." He thought to himself, "It seems the key on the little girl's person cannot be taken away. Time is running out, I have to leave immediately." At that moment, a pair of eyes emitting a powerful oppression spoke, "The little mouse secretly stole the oil." Li Hao Tian, taken aback with fear, immediately took out the talisman, formed a seal, and recited, transforming into a shadow, invisible and intangible, traversing thousands of miles. He yelled, "Conceal." Instantly, he vanished before Yi Qing Jiao. The elder appeared, grabbed the talisman, and laughed heartily, "Talisman user." He landed and asked, "Is this to attract my attention using the cicada's molting trick? This little guy is quite quick on his feet. If my grandson is dead, then the Langqiao sect doesn't need to exist anymore." He unleashed a dangerous force that turned the sky blood red. The spirit sword gritted its teeth, thinking, "This is a bit much. This old man has at least reached the spirit saint realm. For this girl, the price of a little cultivation and primordial energy is quite high." The elder waved his hand, causing the talisman to disappear, replaced by condensed spiritual energy, and spoke, "Dragon Clan girl, even at your peak, you are not my match." Furthermore, he spread his arms down towards the tiny Yi Qing Jiao with terrifying power, continuing, "Right now, you are merely a soul form." Yi Qing Jiao was stunned because he was being controlled. At that moment, a figure stood on top of the tower and called out, "Hey, old man." Fong Langqiao laughed and advised, "Let's talk it over, there must be some misunderstanding. No need to resort to violence like this." The elder's eyes lit up, and using divine consciousness to probe again, he was startled. "Strange, he has no cultivation. No, I can't see through this person." Yi Qing Jiao, feeling oppressed and tightly held, was also calculating, "This old man is not just a spirit saint realm, I must run quickly." The elder replied gently, "Of course, I have a few things I want to ask as well." Yi Qing Jiao was taken aback, "Can we talk?" On the spirit beast sect side, Lang Tian smirked and thought, "This time, the main body has the authority." He transformed back into human form, unleashing flames with a powerful and imposing demeanor. "Little thief of the spirit beast sect, your grandpa Fong Langqiao is here."